Yo guys, Codelife here. So in today's video guys, I'm going to be starting a brand new series where in this new series, I'll be fully explaining each Fortnite Pro player's warm-up routine. I'll be going pretty in depth when explaining these routines as well guys, so you watching can take full advantage of this video by either copying their exact routine, or you can take parts out of their routine and actually integrate it into your own routine, which could make it a lot more better and efficient. For the first episode of the Fortnite Pro player warm-up series, we're going to be starting it off with Mongraal's routine. The reason for why I picked Mongraal is, for one, I think he's currently one of the best players in the game right now, and he's my personal favourite pro. And number two, Mongraal was the one that actually gave me the idea to do this, as literally before guys, he was live streaming, and on his live stream, a viewer asked him a question. The viewer asked him how he warms up for Fortnite, and Mongraal literally replied with saying the warm-up that he just finished, which the warm-up that Mongraal just finished lasted a total of 2 hours, and that routine is the one he does before he goes into a tournament, such as the Cash Cup one, which was today. It's pretty much the warm-up routine he does when he needs to try hard. Do keep in mind though that he doesn't always do this intense 2-hour warm-up session every day. Most of the time Mongraal only spends around 30 to 1 hour day to day warming up. Like when there's no tournaments going on, you'll see him take different parts out of this big 2-hour routine and actually implement those parts into a lower 30 to 1 hour warm-up routine, which by doing this it can make those smaller routines different every day, as he sort of mixes up the different parts that he wants to practice, so technically every day he can be practicing something else. When it does come to the big day though, the tournament day where Mongraal can potentially win real life money, Mongraal consistently does this 2-hour warm-up routine to make sure that he's at peak performance on his building, editing and aiming, so that he can do well in these games and can try and win that cash money prize. Which in today's video guys, the first of this big series I'm doing, I'll be explaining that exact 2-hour routine in full. We'll be taking a look at each part of this routine, such as the free building, the aim course maps, the Kovacs maps, and so much more, and I'll also be providing the time he spends on each part, along with providing the map codes for each of the maps that he does play. We have got quite a lot to get through today guys, but before we do get straight into it, I want to quickly remind you all to drop a like on this video if it does help you out, and also consider subscribing to my channel as well if you are new. If you do any of those two guys, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. But now let's jump straight into Mongraal's 2-hour warm-up routine. So starting off guys, the first thing that Mongraal does in this routine when he opens up Fortnite is free build. He simply hops into his own creative world that's called God Build, which that name is pretty funny, but in that world guys, it's literally just a blank flat world that allows Mongraal to perform whatever build and whatever edit maneuver he'd like to. The usual build maneuvers that Mongraal does when he's free building can vary. Like as you guys know already, there are so many different build maneuvers you can do in Fortnite, but most of the time when Mongraal's doing each one of these, he does sort of mix them all together into one sort of chain of like practice slash warm up, which when I think about it, that is a really efficient way to do it. But what I'll do guys to sort of cover the most I can, as there's so many, is I'll list the ones that I see Mongraal doing the most out of all of them, with gameplay examples in the background, so you guys can see the move for yourselves. The first move that I see Mongraal doing quite a lot is tunneling slash tarping. The second is high ground edit retakes. The third is triple edits, which is him placing and editing a floor, cone and wall really quickly. The fourth is the Mongraal classic. And the fifth is just the normal 90s that everyone knows. And those guys are the 5 build slash editing maneuvers that I see Mongraal do quite a lot. Like I mentioned before guys, he doesn't seem to do these in any particular order. He seems to just sort of blend them all into each other so he can be as efficient as he can when warming up. But that right there guys is the free build part of Mongraal's warm up covered. For this part, Mongraal spends about 1 hour free building in total, but he doesn't just do it for 1 hour straight. Mongraal actually splits these up into 20-minute sessions, which I'll explain in the next part. So for For the next part, Mongraal moves on to Kovacs Aim Trainer, which for those that haven't heard of it, it's a game on Steam that allows you to practice your aim via completing the different aiming drills / courses it has. Mongraal usually plays Kovacs Aim Trainer for a total of 10 minutes in 2 separate sessions. That's a 5-minute session after he's free built for a total of 20 minutes, and then that's another 5-minute session after he's free built again for yet another 20 minutes. So in total, that sequence goes like this: free building 20 minutes, Kovacs 5 minutes, free building 20 minutes, then Kovacs again for 5 minutes. This might seem quite confusing, but if you think about it, it really is an efficient way of warming up, as he's pretty much warming up his building / editing and his aiming back to back, instead of just warming up his building first, then moving on to his aiming. By doing this back to back method, he's making sure that his building / editing and his aim are very fresh, as he is moving back to back instead of doing one and the other and then making one of them go stale. In my opinion, that's really smart and super efficient. The maps that Mongraal plays in Kovacs are Tile Frenzy Mini, Ascended Tracking V3, and One Wall 6 Target Small. All of these maps help Mongraal warm up his flicking aim so that he can hit those close quarter shots, like shotgun shots for example, with ease. Out of all of the maps that are just listed there, the Tile Frenzy Mini map seems to be Mongraal's favourite recently, and I think this is due to him trying for a high score, which I believe he mentioned before on stream that he's like 150 in the world, which is pretty impressive. I definitely think we'll be seeing Mongraal in the top 100 for this map very soon with a little bit more practice, as the guy is just an insane aimer. After playing Kovacs though, Mongraal then moves on to a Fortnite aim training creative map, which is called Kovacs Aim Training, which is pretty much Kovacs but in Fortnite, and I'll put the map code for that on screen right now. In this aim training map though, Mongraal exclusively plays the aim tracking mode only. The map itself does feature a flicking mode as well that's similar to Kovacs' Tile Frenzy, which Mongraal did used to play a while back, but he doesn't play it anymore, as he finds the Kovac one, aka that Tile Frenzy Mini, a lot better in terms of functionality. In regards to the aim tracking though, Mongraal said that he definitely prefers this in-game Fortnite map for that, as when he's actually doing the tracking, it's on a zombie, so it does feel a lot more realistic. The amount of time that Mongraal spends on this is around 10 minutes, and he has it on the normal tracking mode with the black wall setting turned on. And that brings us guys to our halfway mark. We are currently 1 hour into Mongraal's 2-hour routine. For the second part of his routine, Mongraal started off with playing some box fights with other pro players on the map Donny C's same RNG loadout box fights, which I'll have the map code for that on screen right now. The amount of time that Mongraal spends box fighting other pros is around 20 minutes, and then he moves on to the next part in his routine, and that next part is Zone Wars. So for Zone Wars, Mongraal usually plays on 2 different maps. The first map is Enigma's Downhill River Zone map, which the map code for that is on screen, and the second is Stack's No Way Rotations, which the map for that is also on screen as well. The amount of time that Mongraal spends playing Zone Wars is around 20 minutes as well, which with those 2, box fighting and Zone Wars, that brings us to a total of 40 minutes, and that leaves Mongraal with a total of 20 minutes left, which he finishes the whole routine off with a complete 20-minute free build session in creative. The maneuvers that Mongraal does in this free build are just the same maneuvers that I covered at the start, so if you want to see those, just go back to the start again. And that right there guys is Mongraal's 2-hour routine completely covered. We got through so much there guys, but to sort of finish the video off, I will do a quick recap. So to start off, Mongraal free builds for a total of 20 minutes. He then Kovacs for 5 minutes, free builds again for another 20 minutes, then Kovacs again for another 5 minutes, and then he moves on to an aim training creative map, and he does tracking for 10 minutes. Moving on to the second half of his warm-up routine, Mongraal then plays box fighting for 20 minutes, then Zone Wars for another 20 minutes, and then he finishes up the entire routine with a 20-minute free build session, and that brings his warm-up time to a total of 2 hours, which is pretty intense. But yeah guys, after Mongraal's completed that, he's ready to jump into a tournament, as his aim, building and editing skills are all at 100% peak performance, and with that he's able to jump into a tournament, whatever it may be, and win some money. And yeah, that was the first episode of Fortnite Pro Player warm-up routines. I really hope that you guys all enjoyed and found this useful. If you did, be sure to drop a like on the video guys, as that would really help me out. Also, let me know which pro player you'd like to see featured next in this series, as I think personally it'd be really interesting to see which pros have which routines, as I imagine they're all completely completely different. As well as that, guys, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on Mongraal's warm-up routine, and feel free to share your own routine below, as I'd love to see what you guys are doing to warm up yourselves. But yeah, that's all from me today, guys. Again, if this video did help you out, or if you did enjoy it, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and use code Codelife in the Fortnite item shop when you do purchase any skins. When you do this, by the way, I get a small 5% payout from every purchase in the item shop using my creator code, and that is a great way to support me directly if you would like to. I also have to say hashtag ad and hashtag Epic Games Partner. So yeah, I hope you guys understand. But thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a great day. Peace.